Yo guys, Crescent here. Welcome to my Stamina Warden build video. This is just gonna be a small update to my Dotty build, because due to the new patch, there's a few changes with weapon enchantment. So I did this. Just wanna do an update for you guys for the build. Okay, let's get into the build really quickly. It's more or less the same. Pirate skeleton, heavy on the head, medium on the shoulder. In both impenetrable, tri-stack glyph on the head, and stamina glyph on the shoulder. The 5-piece set we'll be using is Bone Pirate, just a normal all-round really good set. Bone Pirate body, waist, hands, legs and feet, 2 well fitted, and other 3 more are all impenetrable. You could use a tri-stack glyph on the body or maximum stamina glyph like me, doesn't really matter that much. And tri-stack glyph on the legs. Because I'm an Argonian, so I have more health. That's why I use stamina enchantment on the body. If you're not an Argonian, maybe you could use tri-stack enchantment on the body. So 2 well fitted and 5 impenetrable on all the other pieces. So we are running only 1 heavy and 6 medium. On the jewelry, we'll be using the Viper jewelry for non-CP campaign. And on the front bar, we'll be using the Debracer sword. It's the Viper sword. Sharpen Trade. Sharpen Trade is the best in slot in my opinion for this patch. So make sure you use Sharpen with double dot poison on the front bar. So I prefer to use sword. You could use axe if you want, but in non-CP campaign, I think axe is pretty good. But I personally prefer the burst, so sword is the best for me. Even mace isn't that bad as well, because mace has a lot of penetration. So for this Murkmire patch, mace is actually quite decent in my opinion. Okay, so on the jewelry, we'll be using 1 stamina recovery, 1 weapon damage, and 1 cost reduction. So this setup, okay, and the backhand, totally forgot to mention, I'm using 2 Master Axe. Master Axe front bar, the main hand I'm using Nirnhorn, the offhand I'm using Infuse. On the offhand, I'll be using weapon damage enchantment, so you get that 450 weapon damage, and on the front bar, I'll be using disease damage. Because we don't have major defile on this build, so I think the disease damage could help sometimes with the proccing of major defile. Okay, so that is the build. The one thing I want to mention is this is for non-CP. Viper is for non-CP build, but if you want to go for CP, I would say you could even use Viper and CP. It's not a big difference, but I would prefer to use Brigands on the front bar. So I use jewelry, 3 pieces on the rings and on the necklace, and I will be using 1 sword, Spriggan sword on the front bar for CP campaign, Sharpen Trade as well. So that is the item setup. The main changes is actually only on the Master Axe. I'm be using 1 Nirnhorn and 1 Infuse on the back bar, mainly because with the changes to Rending Slash, if you use Rending Slash, you will apply both enchantment, because Rending Slash it do 2 damage, instant of damage. So when you Rending Slash, it do 1 time, 2 time. So it 2 hits, which proc your front bar and your back bar. So you proc your weapon damage and you proc your disease damage. If you want, you could even use Infuse disease damage trade on the main hand, but I think Nirnhorn is better because 1 piece Nirnhorn is actually pretty sweet. So that is what I did with 1 Nirnhorn and 1 Infuse. Up to you. You could use 2 Infuse as well. You could even use something like Sharpen Trade if you want. Isn't that bad. But on the back bar, it's just our healing bar, so I feel like Nirnhorn is slightly better in my opinion. Okay, yeah, that's about it for the weapon. I think for the item setup, it's not a big difference, but that's what I use. One more thing, you can use you could consider what is that, Troking on a helm if you are an Orc or Khajiit or some race like that have a bonus health regeneration. You could use Troking. Troking is pretty sweet as well. Okay, now to poisons, potions more or less the same. We'll be using Dubious because we are using Bone Pirate, and the poison we'll be using double dot poison on the front bar. Potions, I'll be using detection potions, immovable potions with speed, immovable potion with crit, or Invincible Potion and Lingering Health for non-CP campaign, Speed Potion Expedition for non-CP campaign as well. So those are the potions that I'll be using. The Munderstone we'll be using is the Warrior Munderstone, and yeah, like I mentioned earlier, Dubious Cameron Throne. The stats sheet I will show you really quickly. Buffed up like that. On my front bar, 3.3k weapon damage, weapon crit 35%, could go even higher if I use a potion. Let me just use a potion really quickly. Okay, use it. So on the front bar you can see almost 3.4k or so weapon damage, 45% crit. Resistance is actually really solid for a medium armor build. It's 20k. Crit resistance is 2.25k. Stamina recovery is 2.1k, which is very high, because if you consider the fact that we have yeah, I don't know what is Zos thinking, but Zos actually buffed this skill. So Bull Netch gives you about 200 stamina recovery every second. That is 400 recovery. Oh my god, that is so good. 400 stamina recovery. You add that to what we have already, which is 2.1k, so we have 2.5k stamina recovery, which is actually insane in my opinion. I don't know why they buffed it, but okay, I'm not gonna comment so much about that. Yeah, max stamina is 35k, health is about 24k, 23k in Cyrodiil, which is quite decent. 24k I think, more or less. Magicka is 11k, which is enough for us. Okay, yeah, my stats is slightly lower because I'm an Argonian, but I have obviously better resource gain, so it's up to you to tweak it about. For if you are like a red guard, you definitely will have 38k max stamina, and you don't have so much resource gain after you use a potion, so it's differ from races to races, but this is what you should have more or less. Okay, now to the skills. The skills are all more or less the same. Reverse Slice, Dizzying Swing, Shimmering Shield, Subterranean Assault, Forward Momentum, and Dawnbreaker. This is your flex spot. You could take out Shimmering Shield, you could put any other skill you want. You could put Birds of Prey, you could put Green Lotus. Those two skills are really good. You could put Gap Closer for Snare as well. It's super good. Stampede. If you are using Stampede, don't use Wiper. You drop Wiper, you put Maelstrom Sword, Maelstrom weapons, either Battle Axe or Greatsword, and then you use 3 Agility Jewelry. So that is what I would do if I'm using a Gap Closer. Gap Closer is good because of the snare. It's a 60% snare for 4 seconds. This is one of the only skill that still gives you 60% snare, which is gonna be super helpful for you to land your Dizzying Swing. And then you have your Subterranean Assault, your Forward Momentum, your Dawnbreaker. Leeching Wines is a must-have. Ice Fortress is a must-have. This is such a good skill because you gain minor protection. Bull Netch is a must-have as well for this patch. It's so strong now, must use. And Bull Netch gives you major sorcery, so you increase the tooltip of Leeching Wines. You can see here it's not 1.1k. If I use Bull Netch, it's 1.2, almost 1.3k. It will go even higher in Cyrodiil when you fully buffed up everything with all those buffs and everything. Blood Craze is one of the best dot in the game, and we are using Master Axe, so this dot is just so insane, and it heals you as well. So this skill is just too good. And Reserving Vigor is your heal, and Healing Trinket is our healing ultimate. So those are the skills, more or less the same. Only one flex spot I would say. Other skills are must have. Now to the CP. Yeah, CP is the same actually. Warlord 61, 11 Siphoner, 6 Smashing, 56 Mooncalf, 23 Tenacity, 56 Tumbling, 51 Shadow Ward, 37 Blast, 23 Shattering, 6 Physical Weapon Expert, 72 Master at Arms, 9 Thermachurch, 51 Precise Strike, Piercing 23, 49 Mighty, 66 Ironclad, 37 Resistance, also about 1k crit resistance here, 44 thick skin, 43 hardy, 37 elemental defender, 43 quick recovery, and yeah, that's about it. And one thing I need to mention, in my last build video, I am a vampire. I actually dropped vampire because I feel like, especially in CB campaign, it's fine, totally you can run vampire, your resistance is high enough, your healing output is just insane. But in non-CB campaign, when people use Scoria, when people use Zan, when people use Dawnbreaker on you, you will suffer a lot. That's why I dropped vampire, just to play in non-CB campaign. It's not like you can't play with vampire in non-CB campaign, but it's gonna be rough, even though as such a OP class like Stamina Warden, sorry. Okay, for the combos, I think I'm almost done with the video. It's really straightforward. If you don't have a Dawnbreaker, you always want to use this first, and then go into Dawnbreaker, oh my god. Okay, so you use your, what is the name? Sub Assault. First, you switch to your back bar, Rending, and then you go, if you don't have Dawnbreaker, you go into Wrecking Blow, and then the Subterranean Assault will hit before your Wrecking Blow, and then your Wrecking Blow will stun your enemy, and then you can execute something like that. If you have a Gap Closer, you can sometimes, if your enemy is quite squishy, you can just go Sub Assault, you go into Gap Closer into him, straight drop a Dawnbreaker into Wrecking Blow into execute or something, and that could work as well. If you're under a lot of pressure, you can always, obviously you need to buff up yourself, usually. You can always Rending, and then only you go into Subterranean Assault, Wrecking Blow, and then execute. That could work as well. The skills that the most important skill, Boon Edge, costs nothing, so you always need to have this up. Ice Fortress is the most important buff you need to have. This will give you so much defensive capability. You need to have this. This is your main buff, even more so than forward momentum. So you have your these two buff, and then you have your forward momentum is your third most important, and then your optional buffs, so to say, is Shimmering Shields against targets that are using range attack like pew pew snipers or pew pew, just pew pew stuff. You can use your Shimmering Shield. Gives you major heroism, which is super awesome. And then this is like your substitute to Bloodspawn, so to say. And then your Leeching Vines, you have to use it when you feel like you're fighting multiple opponents and you're taking a lot of damage, then you use this. It's only 10 seconds the duration, but it gives you so much healing back. It's just really, really nice, especially against with Blood Craze. So you need to apply a dot because of minor lifesteal. So when an enemy attack you, the Vines apply minor lifesteal to enemies that damage the target. So if an enemy attack you with any source of damage, they will gain debuff, the minor lifesteal debuff. So every time you attack that enemy back, you gain back health. That is like so complicated, but basically what you need is a dot on your enemy. So you have Rending for the dot, so your Leeching Vines will proc non-stop. And other than that, you have your front bar, double dot poison. And I need to mention one more thing. If you don't like using poison, you could use what I'm using on the front bar is Oblivion damage on this sword. So that is for non-CP campaign. Oblivion damage is actually quite good. For CP campaign, you could use disease or poison, but I have disease on the back bar, so maybe poison damage on the front bar. But the double dot poison is definitely worth it to run. Okay, and what else? I think that's about it for the combo. It's more or less the same actually, nothing special. You just rotate. You only got a few skills to use, so you always kind of rotate. And while you're doing your Wrecking Blow, you always, depending on how your enemy is moving, if your enemy keep moving towards you to cancel your Wrecking Blow, you always want to Wrecking Blow, and then you can Wrecking Blow and then move back. It will still land. Something like that. If they're walking towards you, you can move back and still land it. But if they're running away, then you Wrecking Blow into them. So you have to adjust the trajectory of your Wrecking Blow, the distance, you know. Okay, yeah, I think that's about it for this build. Short video, and if you want to see the gameplay, I'll put a link in the description below. By now, I think the upload should be ready, and then just look at the gameplay and see how this build functions. It's a super strong build. It's one of the most OP build at the moment in the game, in my opinion. In dueling, in 1vx, in group, it's just all rounded. This build, you have AoE heal, you have AoE damage, you have everything. Stam Warden is really nice. Okay, that's about it for this video. Make sure to throw this video a like, that will be much appreciated, and subscribe to my channel for more ESO videos, and I'll see you guys in Cyrodiil. Okay, bye bye.